What is up, one and all? How you all doing out there on the beautiful interwebs? I guess that's a thing I say now. Guys,
Boomer.
there was a huge announcement today. Target exclusive in the Vikings line, and we are all here for it. All of us medieval fans going off. My Instagram is blowing up. Yesterday, when it initially got leaked, I was getting it sent like crazy. So that's like I woke up and I had a text from a friend going, Brad, and I see a link and I'm like, yep, okay, it got leaked. I know what's going on here. So, first off, guys, we have the amazing Cheesey Studios, who's not only a big Castle fan and Knights Kingdom 2 fan, but also a Vikings fan.
Totally.
Like
Yes.
Vikings was our era about like
Definitely. That was one of my first medieval themes after Knights Kingdom because that was kind of just how it went. So I had a lot of Viking sets as a kid and definitely has a very, very nice, warm, fuzzy place in my heart.
oh,
It's a
for
good
sure. It sucks
something.
for me because like Knights King I'm sorry, like Vikings was like the beginning. Like I remember the sets, but it was just the begin like I was on the end tip of it and then I
Yeah.
got like fantasy eras where I started, but
It's
I still
almost 20 years old. Like, that's insane to think
wait,
about.
that was
It's
two
like
wait, what?
2005. Like, Vikings is, yeah.
I'm
It is.
feeling a lot older than I
I know.
did.
It's like it's crazy to think about. 20 years. We have to start measuring our childhood themes in decades.
Oh.
It's,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is there's gonna be a day where we get look back and it's not like, like it's the people with like, Royal Knights or Crusaders where it was like, yeah, I remember
yeah.
getting this set. And there's gonna be a day it's like, yeah, I remember when I got that Dwarf Fantasy era
Yes.
set
And
or
then
like
we'll be cool.
exactly. So guys, I mean, look, you're all here for us to talk about this set. What is up to everyone in the chat? KR Productions, what's up, Ramsey Turner, Red Cyber? Very excited to have you all here. So, all right, let's take a look at kind of where this set came from, because for those who don't know, this was a Lego Ideas set to begin with. So this set was brought by Brickhammer, who I think according to a post he made about on Instagram today about it, I think he had done two different Viking villages. Both of them got to 10K, but the first one I don't think actually made it to this stage of actually being made. So that kind of sucked. Put it in this one. And then originally it wasn't going to be made. And then Target did an exclusive deal with Lego Ideas where we got to vote on a set. And then that turned into the set we have now. And so I was up between this, the mini golf thing, and the fish thing, which I remember not liking.
That's
So
fair.
I honestly didn't like the other two Target ones, but I'm also Castle person. So
And I know this is bad, but I actually voted for the mini golf. And like I'm a
really,
huge Vikings guy, but there was something about the mini golf that I thought would be a lot of fun. But I'm
fine,
really
just get out of
happy.
fear, Caleb. Not
I know I shouldn't even be talking, but what they were able to do with this ended up being pretty incredible. So I mean, it's a great model as is, but I think
for sure.
yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yes, we'll get to that. So this is the original idea submission, which honestly, very solid look to it. Definitely smaller than what we got, but I am not complaining about that at all. Just making that a fact that's out there. And he definitely did a very good job on it. And like the roofs could come off and you could get your figures into there. So very, very well done. So for those who don't know, we did have the Viking line. This is kind of significant, but so I consider Vikings Castle because this Vikings line was a sub theme of Castle. And one detail I want to talk about that line was the horned helmets, which we get in this set. People always have problems with it, but I see like Vikings as kind of like fantasy era. It's not like it's a play, it's fantasy. Like it's not gonna be the most historically accurate thing. Like
Totally. I mean,
so
like the people who complain about the helmets fail to realize there's also a dragon in this set. No one seems to complain about that. Haven't seen
are the
dragons
sea
or the
serpent in
sea
this
serpent.
one, like are the
So
giant ballista on the front?
I mean, some creative liberties were taken beyond the helmets too, and I think that's okay.
Exactly.
Someone commented on the official Lego Instagram post, of course, railing on the helmets, and someone else was like, "Counterpoint, they look cool." I'm like, can you argue with that?
Someone also was going off on that, and then he was like, "Oh, I can't wait for the Lego pirate fans to go after pirates for not being historically accurate." And we're like, "That's true."
Yeah, I mean, that's not what Lego's trying to do here. They're trying to make toys and toys for adults, and
Yeah,
people are
like
still going to buy this.
I think no matter what, it's still good. But I consider this new idea set kind of like how the blacksmith's a part of castle. I consider that it's like a future thing of this theme. Like it's probably connected, and you can find a way to connect it. So yeah, it's cool. And I just wanted to bring that up because this theme is, I know, beloved to both of us. So I would definitely, I can't, I always find an excuse to talk about it. So real quick, for those who don't remember, last year we got the Viking ship and Midgard Sea Serpent. Now this was $120 for 1,000, about 200 pieces, 1,200 pieces, say. And we got this set, which honestly, it's cool. I wasn't the biggest fan of it after I built it. The base model was decent. The reason I bring this up is because today we get dropped Viking Village at $130, and it's almost double the pieces that the Midgard Serpent had. Now, I want to bring this up. Now, usually I go after a set because it's like, hey, look at the old gunship, look at the set we get now. You know, it's like a decrease of a couple thousand pieces, and yet it's like $100 more. What, just example, it's not actually something I care about. But that is crazy. Like 1,000 pieces. This is, in my opinion, one of the best price sets of this year, probably. I don't know,
Easily.
at least personally to me.
Yeah.
So,
I feel that.
any comment about that price or piece?
I mean, like, especially in a year where Lego is constantly being roasted because the price hikes, just expensive license stuff, and then to throw this out at the end of the year, you know, it's a little damage control. But I will take it. Yeah. I mean, there are obviously small pieces in this set, but I mean, this thing could have been $170, and I think people still would say it was a good deal. And yet here it is at 130. I know other regions are kind of getting screwed over a little bit. I was talking to my UK buddies. It's 125 pounds, and after the conversion, that ends up being probably closer to $150. But even then, that's not all that bad of a deal, especially once you see what we got in this set.
Yes.
There's new stuff. It's not like the creator set, which had like the new torso prints, but this goes the extra mile, which is really exciting to see.
And I'm very excited to get into that, guys, because I actually talked to the person who designed the original one, and I have some comments from him that he wanted to pass along to all of you. So just what's up, everyone hopping into the chat. Trying to see if there's anything relevant. But yeah, no, it's literally in today's age, we are getting a steal for this. Like, this is insanity. And I agree. I think this is honestly a little, I mean, I know, you know, choose between this or El Dorado. I think we can get into that later discussion. It's what you're more into, but like, in my opinion, this is a better deal than El Dorado was. Like,
oh, totally.
And I loved El Dorado, and I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of the castle, but it's nice to see, like, this is cheaper than the blacksmith, and it's nice to see some sets getting closer to under that $100 range, and it's not like $200 to $500. Like, you know, we had Rivendell, we have the 90th anniversary castle. Like, any fantasy medieval stuff have just been very expensive lately. So for those who don't know, it's coming October 1st. I haven't seen anything weird where it's like October 3rd. It's October 1st according to the website. So, and you will be able to get this on lego.com, and I'm pretty sure it's lego.com and Target only, but also is leaked on a website that sells other, I don't know. So I don't really fully know what's going on with it.
I think it's definitely just going to be different overseas where there isn't Target, because it was originally a French retailer that leaked this. But yeah, I'll be curious to see if this does pop up, you know, your Walmart or Barnes and Noble. I'm guessing not, but you can always get it off Lego.com, and of course you're going to get VIP points there, so that's probably the place to get it anyway.
And I will say, I'm going to talk about this closer to the end. I wouldn't get this day one because there is a reason. Like, I think it's a great set. And if you aren't planning on getting this other item, then this is a good day one get. But there is a reason why I will say wait.
I wonder what it could be.
Not something I haven't shut up about for the last.
Hey,
Three.
I might be waiting for that too. So
I
I know what's up.
even as a content creator who is playing game this day one, I'm even thinking about waiting for that. So, um, yeah, I will say I was expecting when we heard Viking Village for it to be a $200 to $300 set. So again,
Yeah.
not to keep hammering down that price thing, but that is just amazing. Blew me away. All right, let's get into it. So first off, the figures. I am in love with these figures. First off, we got a new blacksmith torso printing for the Vikings on the far left there. We also got they reused a couple of torsos, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine. The torsos we got with the last Viking set was so good. I'm extremely okay with that. And then we got like all leg printing here, which is amazing. And then we got another new torso, which I'm pretty sure is the far right one there. So, and we did get the historical Viking helmet in this set, which,
So everyone can be happy.
yes. And I'm going to make a quick comment about that because when I asked the guy about it, he said the CMF Viking helmet, which was super important for historical accuracies, he actually worked very hard for that to be put into this set. And he wanted it so much to be put into this set for at least that historical accuracy to it. Like, you know, there's still the horned helmets, but he wanted to make sure that those got into there. So,
That's cool.
and yes, the shields do look like they're the old ones, but I will say, like, it's kind of nice that they're brought down a lot. They're that new circular shield size. I'm pretty sure we saw that on the CMF Viking. If you don't remember that figure from 4 years ago or so. But he had that nice shield, and so they did bring that one back for this set. So very happy with that. Thoughts on these figures?
I mean, this is better than I could have asked for to get unique leg printing for each figure. That's something your licensed themes that cost twice as much don't get. That's kind of insane to me. They did a great job. So we get two different types of shields and two of each,
Yes.
and all printed. I mean, there's an
Wait, do we get
unprinted
2 of each?
shield.
I only saw 3 originally, but
I looking at I think it's that French retailer. They
okay.
had some close up pictures that I think featured 4 shields, and then the
Okay.
one unprinted one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I
So
did
one
see
for
there
each
was an
figure.
unprinted one.
So
Okay.
that's super cool. I mean, they could have not printed the shields. They could have done stickered shields like in the old days. They could have just given us one shield, but yeah, like were so many extra steps taken to make these figures really special. Um, yeah, it's
Like, even the one
mind
guy who's
blown.
got some war printing on his face, like, I really
That's
like
got to be
that.
a new print. Um, yeah, I think the figure on the far right and the figure on the far left. I'm not sure about the one on the left. If her face print is new, the two in the middle are recycled prints, and that's
Yes, I
totally
know the
fine.
one yeah. I
Because I
will
think
say
Santa is the one on the middle
I
left.
think
I
you're
think that's a
right.
Santa, and then the female character in the middle right. Her face is commonly used in
Yeah.
City. It's for like snapping a picture. She's got the squinty eye, which is
But it works,
kind of
it
fun.
works. Like,
Love her
I'm fine with
hairpiece
that.
though. That's cool.
Yes. This great comment here from Andy. Those hair pieces are sick, and I agree.
Yes.
Like, it's not like I'm okay with having some of the Vikings with hair because it's like, you know, if you're a read or watching the which is something I was gonna say, like, I think this set is perfectly timed because there are a lot of Viking TV shows out right now on like Netflix, especially that are like highly watched, like very like a lot of people love them. There's a lot of people who love Vikings right now, a lot of great book series out about them. And it's like, you know, not all of them could have helmets, like, so it's kind of cool to see a couple of them without it. But also, if you wanted to throw that one, you know, historically accurate one, it gives you a little, you know, switches them up a bit. So,
Oh, it's a new
um,
Friends hairpiece. I was wondering where that's
uh,
from.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that, but that is really amazing. So, also kind of fun to use the cow horns on the
Yeah.
far right one there. It's a
A lot of
different look, and
variety.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of digging it. I kind of actually like it more than just the horns sticking out as they do. So,
I can get
no,
behind that. It takes up it's just too wide.
Yeah.
with the regular classic teeth piece. Oh, and that was something interesting that I learned when doing research for my Vikings video, is that the tooth piece was introduced with the Vikings theme. That was the first time it showed up.
Really?
So random useless information there, but I thought that was kind of interesting. You would think that would go a little further back or have been introduced elsewhere, but that is the
Yeah.
theme.
Because the early themes I can remember getting them in was Vikings and
Yeah,
Exoforce, but that's awesome.
exactly.
That's actually really cool.
So there you go.
This is why we bring him on, because he cares about the parts usage.
I'm a nerd.
If you're a nerd, what am I?
I think
Also,
we're in the same boat here.
it's true. It's true. We can't escape. Also, it's nice that we got the shoulder parts for the one
Yeah,
Viking too. So I don't know.
just bulks them out.
There's variety here, and I like it. I was gonna show these guys. These are the ones that we got with the 3-in-1 ship, and honestly, they fit right in. Now they didn't have the leg printing, but I'm fine with that. And you can get the torsos to these guys on PAB. So if you want to build out a nice army of Vikings to go with your 2 Viking sets, really nice to kind of have both. So highly recommend going to PAB and picking up a bunch of those. Now here's another image of them. So a few more tools. So I can definitely see at least 3 shields there. Again, that leg printing is just amazing. I can't wait to have those. What are your thoughts on the dark orange legs? I feel like I have to see them in person for me to really feel, but I feel like a dark orange goes well with that green. I'm a big fan of green, so I definitely like that.
Yeah, it works for me. I mean, I think his outfit just stands out the most with the dark orange and the green together, compared to where everyone else is like, we got dark blue on black, we got tan on tan, dark red on dark red, and then we got dark orange on green. So it's just a little extreme. But I bet if you put those legs on anybody else, it might be a little more subtle. But
For sure.
I just can't believe they're all printed. I love that so much.
I do.
It's so good.
I do. I really do love that. That was a big deal seeing that. Because like I was expecting, I was like, all right, these figures I could kind of care less. They're going to be some random. As long as we're not getting another pirate, I'm good. Like we did with the 3-in-1 castle. Like, so honestly, big fan. So one detail that the designer told me, the only thing still rather mysterious is the printing on the hammer. And I'd very much encourage you and your viewers what the print could be. I tried to find close-ups of it. I honestly couldn't figure out for myself. This is the best picture I could find. I think it was on some person who happened to get the set early and they built it. But it looks like a couple of glyphs there, but I'm very excited now to get the set and figure out what that part is. It is definitely a Viking rune, but I don't know what that Viking rune could mean or stuff. So at first I thought there was on the CMF, it was a CMF dwarf. They had some prints on it. So I like on a hammer like that. So I thought they just reused that part, but it's not the same. So it is something very interesting. So at some point we're all going to figure that out, and it might be the coolest thing ever. So, but yeah, so awesome. Again, if you don't remember the CMF, I have a feeling this figure just shot up in price even again, because this is going to be a great one to add to that if you have the sets. There's also a couple other good CMF Vikings that we got. All right. Now let's actually look at the set. Sorry, we've been doing a lot of foreplay here, and we haven't actually looked at the set itself.
Oh, there you can see the 2 blue shields. So
so one on the right.
Shields.
Where's the 2 yellow? Oh, have we seen 2 yellow?
But that minifigure lifestyle photo had 2 yellow. So
okay.
They're never all in one picture, but I'm feeling confident. They do exist.
Okay. So it is there. So real quick, I was going to read this off from the person who made the set. He says, I am still super excited. Most of the things that he said, he's already put out on the internet about this. So go check out his Instagram. He did it's the Brick Hammer. Absolutely fantastic job. However, I would like to point out that the set does not include any stickers. Everything you see is printed, and that it does indeed come with one of the CMF Viking helmets, which was super important to me for historical accuracy. So if you guys look, there's some, I think I got better images of it later on here. Yeah. So like, if you look at those barrels that have like the Viking symbol on it from the original Vikings theme, they're printed.
Cool.
that part above the door, that's a printed part. All these parts are printed, and that to me is a huge deal. Because if you guys have ever watched when I was on Stud Buds with Matt Mellish, we'd always get on like stickers and stuff like that, and I was really worried that that was going to be the case here, but no. Like even that little dwarf like tomb or whatever it is, awesome, printed,
Just
love it.
yeah,
So
totally unnecessary, but very, very welcome.
oh,
Just
for
like
sure, it's such a great
crazy.
little detail. So yeah, let's get into this from left to right. Real quick, looking at this, how do you feel about part usage? Because there is a lot of different part usage. Even I noticed in this, and I just want to know like any thoughts that you have on this.
This looks like a fun build. I think my biggest critique lately of Lego is that they just build stuff way too big. Rivendell is the perfect example of this. I mean, Rivendell is the most beautiful set made this year, in my opinion, but it is so ridiculously massive. And they could have done that. They could have given this the Rivendell treatment. They could have made these buildings each 3 times as large. But it's not, and I love that about it. Something that's small, realistic, playable, buildable, affordable, most important of all, is fantastic. And I think just from a composition standpoint, before we break down everything individually, I like how they've opened this up. You know, it's open and more inviting than the original model. And same with the color palette too. We've gotten rid of a lot of the dark browns and replaced that with brighter colors, tans. There's some greens in here. It seems like a very warm and cozy, friendly Viking Village, which I think is more in line with Lego's brand values. But it just makes for a more fun set. And no
Hmm.
shade to the original designer. He did great work. And obviously, the designers took a ton of inspiration from that. But I think the changes here are positive. Um,
Yes.
I like the vibes, and building at an angle like they've done in so many sets now. It just works really well to make this a more dynamic composition.
And that was a couple things that he did say. He did say that people have asked him if the color, and he says the color palette is actually identical with the original submission. It's only brighter due to lighting. So there was a lot of like, there was a few color changes. I definitely agree with
That's
the like
true.
green and stuff. But I will say one of the things he did, he said, when I asked him, I was like, what's your thoughts? You know, he's like, you know, a lot of times they take the original idea set and then just completely ruin it. And he's like, they didn't do that here. And he's like, I even think they made it better from my original design.
Yeah,
So
I
I think if the
agree.
designer is happy how it final product came out, I'm
That is
happy.
that is perfect. I mean, because I'm sure that has not always been the case with some
No.
of these models. I mean, even the insects model that was the last ideas reveal. I feel like there was just a lot of unnecessary fluff added to that set. You know, that compromised some of the original. Not that it's a bad set by any
No.
means, but stuff like that happens to these.
Yeah, like the
And
Sonic set. If you look at the original idea for the Sonic Ideas set to the final product, it was so much different.
yeah,
So it's kind of nice to be like, hey, like I looked at this and it took me a bit to figure out what was different about it at first. Cause like I had to like actually open up both. And I was like, okay, now I can actually see the differences. But so I'm pretty happy with that. Um,
totally.
Great eye catch here. And I did want to show this because
Hmm.
Ethan loves this part. You can see on the right there,
Yeah, there it
that
is.
new fern piece, they actually made it in white. So that
It's
was a
big
big
hype.
deal. And I absolutely
Uh,
love how they did that for the tree.
the other like recolor that I noticed is that grill piece in medium nougat. I believe this
Oh,
is the
yeah.
first time it's showing up. I mean, it's all over the place. Not as cool as the white fern, but that's kind of fun that this of all sets is the one to introduce that recolor. So
For sure.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The colors in the set are absolutely stunning. Like, I think how it goes together, and I think you're right about the size. Because I was thinking about this. This would go a lot better with the 90th anniversary castle than something like the Lego Ideas Blacksmith,
Yeah.
personally. Like it's that smaller size, but I also like if you look at the huts, they're a little bit bigger than they were in the original, and I like
Hmm.
that a lot more because I feel like there's more room to actually
The
put figures
interior.
into it and use them. And I don't feel like there's too much fluff here, which you were saying, which is sometimes it's like, okay, we didn't need this extra part. My only critique, and this is such a nitpick, honestly, I kind of wish it had been like more of a land one than at sea. Like I like this, so like a more of like if you look at this, this is like next to the sea or a river. personally land one because you have customized it. But when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter. It's just like, hey, that would have been really cool for my playability with it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, this is still absolutely amazing. And again, it's not something that takes away from the set for me.
I was talking to my work buddy about this because we were drooling over the high res pictures this morning, and he said there's something missing from this set, and I looked at him and said, "Yeah, there is. It's a boat. There's no little boat in this set, like something like the original Viking longboat." And oh, here you go.
There
And
we
I
go.
do think that is the one thing that maybe they could have added, but you got to imagine that adds to the price, and ultimately something like this is easy to make. If this had included Jonas Kram's Viking ship that also hit 10,000 supporters, that would have been perfect. But you're looking to add $20 to $30 to the set. So yeah, that would have been perfect. And we can talk all day about what this set could have added. But at the end of the day, what we have is so good at the price point that it's at. That's really not a valid complaint. But just something interesting, like maybe could have had a little tiny boat. That's as far as I'm going to go. But
I will say, yes, you could buy the 3-in-1, but it's not. That ship is probably as long as the set is.
Yeah,
maybe.
What is the dimensions on this? I feel like 18 inches comes to mind. I don't know where I read that.
I can look up. Actually, if you want to find that quickly.
Yeah, you do the talking.
Yeah, for a second. So yeah, I think there's really great. So you get 3 main buildings in this. You on the far left there's a little blacksmith / forge. You get the chief's hut is called, and then you get this like nice watchtower, and there's a little more detail to it. Oh, someone made this. You could use it as a dock or lake town, which I do agree. If you are like Hobbit fan, this is definitely a solid lake town. Someone was quickly asking, is this set modular? So we're going to get to that, but later. But yes, so you can actually. They had the awfulest picture for this. So as you can see, it's kind of like Eldorado Fortress. I think it uses the same clip system. It may use. I can't exactly see.
It's really weird because they've got Exoforce claws in the relatively new 1x2 snot brick with the single stud to get that angle. And they attach to bars connected by basically not headlight bricks, but the 1x1 with the stud on it. It really caught me off guard because you would think that wouldn't be strong enough, but I assume it is. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it.
The one nice thing about that compared to Eldorado, and this was one of my biggest complaints with it, on Eldorado, you have some of the clips still sticking out, whereas you could pull the clips out of these once you like open it up. So
yeah,
that's my only thing. It's like, hey, that's a positive, but you're right. That is a very interesting. That's weird that they
just to get it at that angle, I guess. And like, I'm surprised that like there's got to be other ways to do it. So I'm surprised that's what they came up with. Yeah, we'll have to see how it works before we make any judgments. I'm sure it's fine, but
so one thing that is positive about this though is you could build like areas to connect into the middle there, so you can move your blacksmith out and build something else next to it if you keep the same pattern there, and then that can go next to the chief's hut in between those. And then same thing, like you could add on to this a bit, or it's like, hey, I don't have a lot of space. I guessing you could just hook up, like you could put the chief's hut on your shelf and maybe connect the other two together. I don't know if that's for sure, but like that is kind of nice. I wish it wasn't on an angle and more kind of flat a little bit, just so that you could easily connect up more stuff to it. But I don't think this is a sign that we're going to get another set that can connect up to this. It's just a one-off cool thing.
Yeah. Follow up on the length. So the village is 18 inches across like that, and then the Viking ship is 16 and a half. So they're pretty much equivalent.
So you're going to have 2 inches of difference.
Yeah, it's not going to line up with that dock real nicely, but kind of to be expected. I don't know what I got to look up what the original Vikings ship was. That thing's like 2 feet. So insane.
By the way, guys, I am trying to grab comments as I can see them popping out. Yes, Rebrickable is going to go insane on this. I'm excited to see what people do with 2 or 3 of these. Are there any new pieces? There's some new prints.
Yeah, no new molds. We're just looking at recolors and prints. It's
I
kind of
will
late in the year for Lego to add new
mm,
pieces.
I will say it's kinda cool how they use that armor piece above the door for the
Yeah,
chieftain's hut, and then there's the gold glizzy up there too, so, like, there's some very interesting I don't think there's new part usage, but there's some very interesting part usage. This is
definitely.
also a good point. You could definitely use these buildings for
Mhm.
Edoras or Rohan. Um, it's definitely there's a lot of possibilities because this isn't like if you pull off the couple Viking specific parts, lots of possibilities what you could use this for in your medieval world, whatever that could be. Even this could be even just your basic, civilian little town there. So I'm loving it. I also love that staircase on the right there of how they
Yeah,
climb
it's
up.
good.
Like
Those
it's compacted in well and it looks so good.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with those. Rivendell had all sorts of stairways like that too, with the snot construction and slopes. It looks like you've even got one stud on there, so you can pose a minifigure on there too. I know people
Oh yeah, on the
look for
stairway. Oh
that
yeah.
too. So yeah, that's nice.
Oh, that's not yeah. The bridge is not what is that? It's like
It's
that new
it's plastic. It's a flexible rubbery plastic like the hair pieces that they do. It's new. It's replacing the stringed version. I
right.
had one somewhere. I don't know what I did with it, but
Wasn't that new? It was new for some theme or another, and I can't
I
remember off the
first
top of my
saw it
head.
in city sets this
Okay.
summer. So it's a little more rigid than your string, but it functions the same, except there's bar holes instead of studs on the end. So you can see it attaching to the pneumatic T pieces right
Okay.
there. So yeah, it's a little stronger of a connection and a more rigid shape. Um,
Hmm.
I would have loved to have seen them bring back that that original bridge that like do you see in the original fan submission from I don't know when that was discontinued. Pirates was the last time that showed up in one of
Yeah,
the yeah.
because I think that
Um,
was at least 2009 Pirates I saw it in. Was the last time I can remember.
I don't think it showed up after that. I can't believe it stayed around as late as 2009. I do like the brick built version better. It's more Lego like, but that's a great way to look at how Lego has changed just over the past decade, right? What originally was one piece, one mold is now contributing 20, 30 pieces to this set. So that's what inflates that price per part and makes it a little irrelevant these days. But even so,
Yeah.
even if this is still compared to other equivalent sets an amazing deal. But I'll shut up about the price again.
No, I think that's a really great thing to keep pointing out though, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, like that's been a huge complaint. And I think for once we can all rejoice as fans. If I hear a single person go, oh, it's too expensive. What?
Find
Like,
a new hobby. I mean,
yes. Like if you
this ain't
guys
it.
keep complaining that these sets are too expensive, just look at how good this like there are expensive sets. We can all agree that some of these sets are way too expensive. But some of them when don't kick a gift horse in the mouth, okay? Like, if we
Yeah,
keep complaining they're expensive, then Lego's just gonna be like, all right, we're gonna keep expensive now. But like this, I love that this entire thing is closed in. It's not like we
yeah,
got with, I mean, even El Dorado had this a little bit where there was like a wall that wasn't fully closed in, but I love how you could take it off because on the original design, you could take stuff off, but they did a fantastic job of like you could take off that roof, you can take off the other roof, and like you can take off that whole sidewall of the tower. Like that's just amazing. And I think that is very well done when it comes down to it. So it it
totally.
allows for again playability, but also like displayability and whatever else.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I just recently bought up all the Viking sets, and so there's a good comparison to be drawn between this and the original Viking Fortress versus the Fafnir Dragon, uh, and that it's a big set, but there's nothing to do in that set, and I love just how much life this one has. Even if you could fit this new one inside the old 2005 one, right? But the smaller scale works here, and I think you could still have maybe even more fun with this one, just because there's so much to do, so many little details. I mean, she's mining there underneath. Like, why is that there? Who knows? It's cool. It's fun. It's great for telling your own stories with
It's
this model.
it's a great, in my opinion, add-on because it's like, hey, you're gonna have that little mountain area there. Like, why
Do
not use
something
it?
with it.
And
Yeah.
it's like we saw the same thing with El Dorado. We saw the same thing with 90th Anniversary Castle. And I think Lego has been doing that a lot in these sets where it's like, hey, we have a small little area here that's not really being used. Why not? Let's use it. And
Yeah.
someone was asking, Brickhammer was the guy who originally did the Lego ideas for this. Highly recommend going following him. He has a wolf pack design out there right now, which I'd love to have the same treatment happen to. But also, like, there's a little bit. One thing I like it that it's improvement is there's more room inside the chieftain's hut
Mm-hmm.
for where the figures can. You can set up some figures, you can have them having a little barbecue there, and
Yeah, look at this party. That looks dope. I love that.
What is that on the right there for the armrest of the chair? That's a is that, I think that's
The
a new
new
finger.
use, I
That's
hate
kind
it
of
so much,
cool.
but it's great part usage.
Yeah.
They got them in brown in this set too. They're all over the place. I don't know if those are recolors or not, but yeah, it's a terrible piece, but well used here. If it exists, you might as well use it. So, oh, they make up the back of the headrest too. I think that's gonna look
Oh
really
yeah.
nice.
They really did. Like, you know what I love about this set is it's not just brown and tan. Like, I feel like there's a lot of good. It's not just one solid color throughout this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it
Totally.
definitely works. Like, even the roofs, like, it's a mixture of parts, and it doesn't like. It's not like, hey, I'm about to do one roof side and then the other that's the exact same. Like, there's little bits that are different to each part to make it just feel a little bit more. So I'm loving this. We also get the forge here, which is really solid looking. And yes, there is that new fern piece there again. And we also think that's dark green we get it in too, but I might be wrong.
Oh, I wonder if that's probably not new, but still cool.
It looks dark green. I don't maybe it came in the Endor set. I don't think so though.
No,
But
that was whatever. But yeah, the white still will be useful. I love that. That simple little tree design works well.
yeah, I'm down. I'm down. And I love how you still got that little bit of snow that's there in the original design, but it's not like overbearing. So
Totally.
okay, wait, what's that on the other side of the hammer?
Oh, the Tranquil Garden just came with the dark green. That's where it's from.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And there you are. So that's what you were talking about there. So that is the plain circular shield. So it's really cool that you do get 5 shields, even if one of them are plain. So that is not a new helmet that regionally came with the CMF Viking. We also saw it in there's 2 sets that we saw in. One was Sanctum Sanctorum. And then there was another set that I was also upset about because it wasn't a castle set that had it come with it. And I can't remember off the top of my head now.
Let's see if I can find it.
But yeah, so you definitely get a nice thing of weapons here. What's that? Is that a light brick?
There's got to be some sort of function there. Yeah.
Oh, it just pushes it up if I remember
flames
right.
up and okay.
Because so I do have this video. I forgot about that of just kind of spinning it around, so you can get a little bit better detail there. So good. It's so good.
Yeah, it looks great from the back. I really like how it looks from the back.
I think you could literally have this displayed anywhere and it would look good. And the little bits of gold in it, it just really brings a set to life. So, I don't know. I am really loving how you do get a few different references to Vikings in this set. That is really cool. Like the theme where you get the different symbols, and it also kind of connects it up to that theme to make it, if you want to go off the lore wise of it, like we just need a dragon attacking it and we're all good.
Yeah, I kind of want to compare so I got the original printed. Let's see if it'll focus. Right. They've changed up it's not going to focus, is it? Come on, focus. Autofocus.
Oh, that came with the Viking.
The last 2 2006 sets. So it's an updated version of this print, right? Oh, there we go.
It is.
In the middle.
It definitely is.
So this one's kind of chaotic, right? The other one's a little more uniform, a little more symmetrical. So this one's that's kind of interesting to note, right? Because you can see it opens up in the middle, almost like an eye of sorts, whereas this one's kind of a tangled. But it's very much a play on this original piece, which I do like a lot. And there's 6 in this new set, which is fantastic because this thing here goes for $2 a piece, maybe more.
You know that if this piece goes on Bricks and Pieces, it's gonna fly.
That's going to be
Like,
so much fun to buy up. So I'm glad that they're remaking it, and I think this new
oh,
version is superior.
oh, sorry. I think the runes in the hammer
And
are B and H for Brick Hammer.
that's beautiful.
He got
There you
himself
go.
into the set, and you know what? Props to him.
That's
Prop.
fantastic. I'm glad they didn't put him on the tombstone or something, because that's what they did with Tiago
Yes.
in the mansion or the haunted house or whatever. So that's much better. I love that. And on the hammer is so
Oh,
perfect.
and
Love
since his
that.
name is Brick Hammer too, like it kind of just go. That's the
Thank you
move.
for figuring that out. That's great.
That I would have had to like I needed to look into those and what they would have actually meant. So that is really cool. Also I love the little fishing rack. I know it's like two different color fish there. One of them I'm pretty sure we see a lot in Minecraft. Maybe I'm wrong there. Um it's the only place I can think of where we would see it, but it's kind of nice to have like some like you this village feels lived in. Like it feels like a
Mhm.
place you could live. Like it's not just hey, here's this random Viking place. No, there's a lot to it, and I'm really loving that. Also, like just the front of how they built this, like I'm trying to think if I can get a better image of it. The hall itself is just cool to me. Like
Yeah,
I don't
that simple snot, woodwork, right?
it's just so
Good,
solidly done. So I
good
don't know.
depth on such a small building too. You can even see on the side how they have the curved
Oh
dark brown
yeah.
there. It just the walls are not flat. They're very interesting. Like maybe you could argue that upper section's a bit messy with the gold, but I don't mind it. I think it's just fun gold detailing and
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I don't know why it's always gold on these sets. It does make it pop out, but it's like kind of feels weird
Gold
sometimes.
has
Like
lost all its like
yeah.
value. I was just noticing that like chrome pieces, they were so rare in sets, like, and it was also chrome, but they throw pearl gold at everything these
Oh,
days.
legitimately. You can always it's like pick brick walls, whatever. I also do love the smoke using that one. I think it's like a railing type piece. It's just the
Oh
white
yeah, the
coming up.
elves ornamentation.
Was that elves that started with?
I think that's where it came from. Yeah.
That makes sense. Also, you got some like fun cobblestoning. Like it's just look. The more I look at it, the more it looks good. So I don't know. Like you get like a little bit of road, but like it's not I know, like cobblestone mixed with that dirt, so it's not like just smooth too, which is really well done. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think this is a set that even if you got multiple of it, would be still solid. Like I don't know.
More so if you got multiple.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you can just build like I'm really
it's a lot of
excited to
fun.
see this on my shelves. Um, so when it comes down to it, I kind of feel like we've already said our answer to this, but would you buy this? Like, do you think
I
people should go out and buy this?
I mean, oh man, I've bought maybe one Lego set this year, but I am probably going to buy this too. I am so legitimately impressed. And the fact that that price is actually something I can feel decent about. Wow. Yeah, this is maybe not the day one purchase like we talked about. Even though I think
Yeah.
it comes out on my birthday, that could be a little birthday gift to myself.
Oh, it's around
But
your well, there you go.
yes, so there's my excuse. But I was not originally interested in this when I heard it was going to happen. I was like, oh, cool, whatever. I'm glad it's happening. Medieval representation, but I was not going to pick it up. But I'm the thing that wins me over is the minifigures and the prints. It just makes this set seem so like there's love poured into it, right?
Yes.
There's this doesn't feel like a cash grab like so many
It
sets have
it
this year.
doesn't feel like the new City or Ninjago set that's like, "All right, we threw some parts together. Sounds good."
No,
Like
the graphics team, the marketing team, the fan designer, the Lego designer, they all cared about this project, and the higher ups at Lego cared enough about this project not to overprice it, but actually allow a bit larger of an audience to be able to get their hands on this. And ultimately, it is a very niche item. This was something that was originally rejected from Lego Ideas. This is something that is created for fans, and that love comes through. So I've already put together my top 10 sets of the year list, but that might need modifying once I pick this up.
Ooh, I need to make my list now because I definitely think this will be on it.
Yeah.
But also that's because this is the type of thing I enjoy.
Well, that's what top 10 lists are for. It's
Yeah,
your
sure.
opinion. Do it.
I will say, dang it, I lost my train of thought. No, I agree. I think this is a set that was put a lot of love into it. I think this is a set you should go buy. And the only reason I'll say is there are rumors out there of a GWP that's going to be castle related. I'm going to be careful what I say here because you're in land, so I want to respect that.
I have not seen any such gift with purchase. Don't worry, it's not
Yeah.
hiding behind me. I know nothing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, here's it is actually.
It's like, check this out.
But to me, because like of that, I would wait until that set comes out in November. Yes, you wait a month, but that is so you actually get something sort of castle related, medievalish related with that GWP. So again, I have put out some shorts about that GWP. So if you want to know more about that, go check those out. But like, I would recommend not buying this on the first if you only plan on getting one, because then you have something to actually get that GWP with and you save some money. So that is my huge recommendation for this. But I honestly feel like the love, even the references I'm noticing, like as the more we've talked, more Easter eggs are referenced to, realize have reference to original, Vikings part usage. As you said, I just feel like this is a set that even people who are not Vikings fans or medieval fans who are just like shows like Vikings or something that's kind of fantasy or medieval related. I guess I did say it if you're not like, but yeah, if like you're outside of that group, even I feel like people outside of Lego could just enjoy this too. Like, I feel like if you enjoy Lego and you like something that's outside of that niche, that is, again, they're big Viking shows right now that, I'm trying to think of the ones I remember, but there are those out there. So, there is an audience like this. The fact that some of those shows have like 7 seasons tells me there is an audience for this set, even outside of the hardcore Lego fans. And I think the number of people I've seen who shared this set, who are excited about it, I think this set's going to do extremely well, especially in our circles with the castle and the Vikings fans. So I think Viking sets just went up in price, but also, guys, if you want army Viking building, go to PAB. That's where you're going to be able to get a ton of these torsos, and hopefully this will eventually go to PAB too.
Yes, that would be epic. Those will be constantly sold out, but it will.
Sure, especially those shields. Oh my goodness,
shields, man! Viking army building is going to be the next big thing next year. I'm pretty sure as soon as those show up. But
oh yeah,
it'll be fun.
I mean, it kind of already is. I've seen a lot of people army because even the torsos are good just for a basic civilian. So
yeah, the torsos are great. Yeah, everything's great. Great set.
Any last thoughts on this?
No, I think we've hit the nail on the head repeatedly. It's this is a beautiful set that really knocked it out of the park. Something that I wasn't expecting to be as awesome as it is, and that is the best kind of surprise.
It's true. It's kind of funny because I was excited about the set because I didn't know originally that we were going to get what we were going to get this year. In many different areas. So it's like when I heard there was a Viking, this Vikings rumor, I was excited about that because it's like, not rumor, because we had the fan vote for it. That genuinely excited me. And now it's like, I think I was coming to this set a little bit wary because we've had some idea sets. Like, I was not expecting this. I will say that. I was expecting like, oh, this is like just half the quality of the original and kind of worse part usage. But as we said, there's love and dedication that was put into the set. So props to the original designer and props to everyone who is involved with it.
Yeah, 100%. This is hopefully what we'll see more of. I mean, the ideas line, I mean, it has hits and misses, but when it hits hard.
Oh, yeah. So we're gonna end the stream here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. As we said, when this set October 1st or after. This is a set you're gonna want to get your hands on. Thanks again, as always, to Cheesey for joining. I feel like I realized Eldorado release. We talked and had that video
Yes, that was the
together, and
last
then
time.
and now we have this one.
There
So
you go.
hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of your day. And let's have some Vikings fun out there. Bye bye.